Hello, everyone. Welcome to Geekonomics. It's Mark. It's not Bryon. It's Megan Duffy. Our
What?
Hollywood insider is here.
I'm not Bryon?
You're not Bryon. No.
News to me.
No. You definitely have less facial hair than Bryon does. That's for sure.
Thank you so much.
And your hair is not as gray, which is also.
Well, thanks to something called Clairol number 108. It is not gray.
Well, there you go, kids. You need to know. Clairol 108. Well, give you that nice red look. So what's new, pal? What's new with you?
Hanging out. We've been real bored over here. We're got a double strike happening. So the town has been pretty quiet since March. Normally even before that, normally we have a really bustling pilot season from like January to maybe April when they start filming. And this year there was something like 17 pilots compared to 40 something last year and compared to normally about 100. So it's been crickets over here.
Well, the one thing that you have been doing is you have a movie coming out like today. It might be today. It depends when I post this.
Okay.
Could be Monday, could be Tuesday. Probably Monday, so it'll be tomorrow. But on Apple TV Plus.
Well, it's not just on Apple TV Plus.
Okay.
It's a truly independent. Let me just preface this, because right now we are striking. All of the SAG actors are striking, and so part of that striking is not being able to talk about projects that we worked on that have been made by producers who are part of the AMPTP. That's what we're striking against, but. At the same time, SAG-AFTRA has allowed for some true independent productions to seek an interim agreement, which basically means that the producers of the project have agreed to the terms that SAG-AFTRA is seeking in their negotiation with the AMPTP. So if producers are down with what is reasonable, what we're asking for, and they agree to that, then we are allowed to promote the projects. So this project is something that falls under that. So I just want to preface that first because there's a lot of people with amazing projects that are going to be hitting Netflix and Hulu and all that who aren't allowed, their big break, and they're not allowed to talk about it. So that's why I am. But we're a truly independent film called Bootyology, and it's on Apple. It will be on Apple TV, but it's not part of their streaming service. It's also going to be available if you're on Amazon Prime. You can pre-order. Right now we're in pre-order. It comes out on VOD August 22nd, and you can order it on. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be like on Vudu and just wherever you stream.
Wherever you watch your movies.
Yes, wherever you watch your movies on the TV.
Who are the Booty Boys? Six Hole and Brown Eye. These guys were non-stop about the music.
The sky was the limit for them. They really were a perfect storm.
It was gonna unite the world, but that's not gonna happen now, is it?
The last reported sighting was at Buttholes, which is a bar in the valley.
Oh my God. It's them.
Welcome to my house. Come on in.
Hey, welcome. Welcome to my crib. It's a little cozy. Check it out. This is my vocal booth, AKA the shower, AKA the closet.
I was a participant in the Booty Boys stage show. They called me the professor.
I was Queen Booty Tifa.
I was Bootytron 9000. What is Bootytron 9000?
Give it up for the Bootytron 9000.
I was a robot.
This has to be the greatest rap album of all time.
Yo, this is not good. I just had a great idea. What if we just take our old songs that never came out and put those out?
Hey!
Oh.
Have you read anything about what's happening now?
With what?
Triple Lutz in the Askapades and triple butts in the Ass Parade is really, I mean,
So before we get into the actual movie, for people who don't know, you've been out in Hollywood since when now? How long have you been out there? You've been out there for a long time.
Basically my entire adult life. A couple years after graduation, which we don't need to do the math on when that
No, we definitely did not decide the reunion for Enfield last year. That was a double-digit number that scared me. But
yeah, let's do but basically my whole adult life, moved out to Hollywood, California, and somehow I'm still alive. And accomplished a couple of things along the way. So living the dream, which is being a working class actor.
yeah, you've always randomly, I will name drop you in when new team members come on and they mention that they're Gilmore Girls fans. I'll be like, hey, I have a friend who I went to high school with who was in an episode of Gilmore Girls.
That was
and then they're like, what? And then their brains explode. And then, yeah.
That was my first TV job.
I know. I remember it came on. I'm like, hey, I know that person.
It was very fun. I got to spend the day with Michael York, who he told me one of the wildest stories still to this day that anyone's ever told me. And it was about he and his wife were friends with President Nixon and his wife. And after he resigned, I guess there was like a bunch of people would go to Aspen to some like lodge and stay there together. And after he resigned, this trip was on the books already. And he and his wife decided to still go, but like everyone else dropped out. So he talked about what a strange trip to Aspen it was with our recently disgraced President Nixon and his wife trapped in a snowy cabin.
That's a movie.
It's a hell of a story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a movie waiting to be made right there. So Bootyology, how did this come about? I kind of read into a little bit. It was a YouTube kind of video thing.
So one of my first, getting back to when I first moved to Los Angeles, I had done a lot of dance. I was in the dance team and all of that. And I was very eager to get some on-camera footage of me because most of the stuff I'd done was like live on stage. And that those grainy, what was those cameras that parents used to film with?
VHS.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was very, very eager to get some new footage of to put together a reel, whatever. So I answered a Craigslist ad for
back before that was scary.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of where a lot of casting, it was like there and backstage, which in both of them, absolutely but it was for a parody rap band that was looking for dancers for their music video. It was unpaid, but there was a joke about like, but we'll have lunch, probably nachos, like, and I was like, oh, okay, like it sounds, so they got nachos. I mean, especially with extra guacamole, it can get expensive.
Well, yeah, that's pricey, especially with fresh guacamole. Then that's big dollars.
Big dollars.
Yeah.
So I sent them a very serious submission with my resume, my accolades. I've achieved this as a dancer, blah, blah, and photos. And they were like, great, you're in. And I guess they cast something like 10 or 12 dancers. And I was the only one who showed up. Everyone else just ghosted, or I guess two girls said they had cold sores, which is a very common excuse. I don't know why, but so I'm the only one who showed up. And again, very seriously, I had a suitcase full of different wardrobe options. I was camera ready. I was like, here we go. And I just thought they were really funny and fun. And they were a parody rap band that was actually really good, that sang songs only about butts. They had been graduates of like USC Cinema School and stuff. So they were legitimately talented people. And then a couple weeks after the video shoot, they said, hey, like, we like that you showed up. Do you want to be in the band?
I mean, there you go.
Yeah, I just had to show up. And we created this character. Her name was Queen Bootyology. And it was personally a character who I loved to play because it was during a time in my early 20s. And I don't know if you remember the culture during the early and mid 2000s, where it was just a culture, especially in Hollywood and tabloids and in like People magazine, of just tearing women down. had websites that would, you know, show Kirsten Dunst walking down the street and it's like, is she fat? Like just weird stuff like that. And I was experiencing a lot of that misogyny myself in Hollywood. I weighed 88 pounds and had been told on a couple of occasions that I was fat. And I'm short, but like, but that was just the culture of the time. So I got to create this character in Queen Booty Tifa, who she was just powerful. And you know, you look at me and I don't necessarily register as a booty dancer when you just look at me. So she was just really fun to play. And went on tour. We opened for Sarah Silverman. We would open for Andy Kindler. We did some really, really great shows. We opened for Sir Mix-a-Lot once at the Viper Room.
I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, very cool. And then eventually we just, you know, we ended up losing touch. You know, the guys had to get real jobs and, you know, I don't know what I was doing then, but yeah, we just kind of like lost touch and they stopped doing the band thing. And then years later, I remember seeing an episode of it was America's Best Dance Crew.
Okay.
And they said in the credits who did the music, and it was this company called District 78, which is what the Booty Boys had rebranded at. It was like their serious music thing. And they went on to do all the music. I think right now they're working on Dancing with the Stars, but they would do So You Think You Can Dance, just music, creating music for choreographers and mixing things. And like everyone else during the pandemic, they were bored and had nothing to do. So they said, we're going to make a new Booty Boys album. And then somehow it turned into, we're going to make a movie about what's happened to us, why we had this gap in our time. And so I got a random text in the middle of the pandemic that just said, is this still Megan Duffy's number? And I said, yes, it is. And they said, we're going to make a Booty Boys movie. Do you want to be in
more
it?
strange if it wasn't. No.
I mean, who knows? Yeah. I mean, it had been so long, but also I guess I've never changed my number. Is that a common thing that people do? Do they change their number a lot?
I don't think so. I've had the same number since high school, so it hasn't changed.
Mine has been since I moved to California, but so they said, we're going to do a movie about the Booty Boys. Would you be in it? And then there was a follow-up text that said, don't worry, it will be SAG. And I said, yeah, I'm in, I'm down. I asked him no questions. And then,
nachos?
Well, I was actually paid in money this time. With
Did you say like add nachos as well? Just to, you know.
I think that we got nachos like one of the lunches one shoot day, but
that's just my weird sense of humor. I would have thrown that in as a thing. Like, if there's nachos, I'll be there.
That would have been I was feeling, again, middle pandemic, wasn't feeling my best. But so then I met with the director on a Zoom. We kind of did a thing and talked about who the character would be. And they explained that it was going to be shot very like a Christopher Guest type of movie where we had our character and then it was going to be all completely improvised, which is something that I'm good at. So I was very excited to get to do that. And I would just show up and I would have no idea what we were shooting. I never got a full script. I kind of knew the basic idea of the story, but that was all the information I was given. So there was one day where it was like, okay, now you're going to dance. And I was like, I got to stretch for that. And then we did at the end of shooting, we did, there's like a full music video where I had to go to choreography rehearsals and they got Dietrich's Dominic, who won So You Think You Can Dance, as our choreographer. And it was like people from like all these like dance shows that I recognized. And then I'm like trying to keep up. But
and not nerd out at the same time. Like, hey, you're from that and you're from that.
Oh no, I mean, I walked into rehearsal day one with Dominic and I just went, I voted for you. Like I had no chill. I was just so stoked. But yeah. And then I had I never saw a script. So I had no idea. I didn't know anything about the movie. And then we had our first screening and we filled up like a huge, one of the Regal Lives in DTLA. And I invited a bunch of my friends and I said, listen, this might just be a bunch of dumb butt jokes, or it might be offensive, but I'm proud of my work. So if you could just come and
Yeah.
support me. And we were very pleasantly surprised that the movie is funny and and there are some dumb butt chugs, but it's also topical. It deals with things like cultural appropriation and misogyny. It's about trauma, loss, grief, change, just all of the things that we're kind of collectively dealing with as a society, especially post. So, yeah, and it's also about butts. So literally there is something in this movie for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it is called Bootyology. If it wasn't,
Yeah.
what would be the point?
That's like their the song that they were known for.
Ah.
Yeah, that's the one I have guest vocals on.
Ah, there you go.
BOOTYOLOGY, and then I go, oh my.
Ah, careful, I don't it's too much. I have to pay for it or something. I don't have that kind of budget on the podcast. But so, like you were saying, it comes out for the date. If people see this afterwards, it's already out, but it comes out on Tuesday, which is the
August 22nd. Also my birthday.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Twofer. And you were saying before we started, you just had the premiere last night. How'd that go?
It went well. We just we didn't do a premiere screening. We're trying to figure out a way to celebrate everybody who worked on it, but also being respectful of the fact that so many people can't promote their projects right now. So they just threw a party.
Yeah.
With drinks.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's cool. So everyone needs to go check that out. You can pre-order it, or once it's out, make sure you watch it. But with this strike that's going on, we can't not talk about it more than a little bit. But what do you think? How much time do you think will keep going on before it's over?
Well, it's my understanding that they have kind of gone back to the table with the WGA. So the AMPTP can only negotiate one contract at a time.
Yes.
So it was WGA was up first, then you had DGA, and then us. And it gave us the actors a really small window to be able to negotiate. But before, I think it was like something like 3 weeks we were given. And historically, these kinds of contract negotiations are very complex and take closer to 6 weeks. So WGA, their negotiation failed, as we all know. So the writers went on strike. DGA, which is the Directors Guild, was able to negotiate something, which, people have different, I think there was a lot of people hoping that there would be a triple strike. But DGA, I guess, was happy with the terms that were voted in, and then they got the numbers when they took it to vote with the membership. So that's settled, although I don't know what the directors will direct when they have no scripts and no actors. So good luck, but and then we're and so it's my understanding that the WGA has gone back to the table with the AMPTP. And I don't know, there's a media blackout, and anything that you're seeing in the trades is untrue. So when they're reporting like, oh, this and that, like it's just propaganda that the AMPTP is putting out to try to make it seem like they're not the evil villains that they are.
Gotcha.
And so once the writers negotiation is handled, then the idea
you guys are up.
And then we'll have a little bit of leverage, because then we'll be able to, like, the WGA, whatever their contract is, will set precedent, especially in terms of AI. Like the stuff that they do with AI is just horrific and evil.
It's crazy. Now, like, I know we talked about it on the podcast before, that there are things still being produced out there that are still like the animated films and commercials, and I think soap operas are still.
Well, they're all different agreements. So it's specifically our film and TV agreement. But things like late night talk shows, game shows, reality shows, soap operas, they're all under a different contract called the Network Code. Then we also have a commercial contract, which is separate. And we did in 2022, we have like an unprecedented new commercial contract that's really nothing is ever perfect in a negotiation. It's a negotiation. You're not, both there's no side that's going to get everything they
Mm.
want, but it's pretty reasonable in terms of moving us forward in the direction of the industry. But there are also for some productions, what I mentioned before is the interim agreement. So like A24
Yeah.
was able to use the interim agreement to stay in production, which put, and of course stars are working, but it also means that crew is working.
Yeah.
Because the thing that people aren't really talking about so much is the hundreds of thousands of people who make a TV show happen. Because it's not just your actors, directors,
Yeah.
and writers, it's also all the
Camera
vocal line
key
people,
grips, all the
your key grips,
all the people you see in the credits.
yeah,
All the people are sitting at home. Yeah.
craft service people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Those people are also out of work.
Yeah.
So the thing with the interim agreement is it keeps food on the table for at least a few people, union dues
Yeah.
so that the union can continue to function.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that going on, is there any are you doing anything else? Are you working on stuff, or you have anything you're
There's
playing around with?
everybody's making short films, so I'm
Yeah.
working on that now with my writing partner, based on a dream I had about severed fingers.
Okay.
Probably gonna shoot that next month, but
Yeah.
and then commercials are typically it's pretty quiet in the summer, but they're starting to pick up now because advertisers didn't really want to spend a lot of money to advertise during like celebrity game show or rerun Abbott Elementary, which a great show, Abbott Elementary.
show, yes.
Like we've already seen it,
Yes, exactly.
but they can't escape. They're going to have to make Christmas commercials for Christmas car commercials. So we're starting to see the pickup of that now.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And in bigger news, it was your cat's birthday.
It was August 16th was her birthday.
Yeah.
She is 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's an old gal. Mine's,
Yeah.
we always do this on the podcast now. It's like check in on Ellie as she sleeps on her chair.
Like a little loaf.
Yes,
mine's
that she
in
just
her-
lays there. That's all she does.
Mine's in her window hammock.
Yeah. I bought her one of those and she doesn't like it. So she gets the chair.
So yeah, anything else you want to know about the strike? We've been I gotta tell you, LA's hottest workout right now is getting your 10,000 steps a day in on the picket line. Like that is there's singles pickets. I was just at one of this Monday. There was a bunch of horror creators. So like Barbara Crampton was there. Mazzara, it was really amazing. I dressed as Tippi Hedren from The Birds with a sign that said AMPTP's proposals are for the birds. Sarah Silverman came out. It was really, really fun. We had probably maybe 400 or 500 people, I think, came through that day at Netflix. Yeah. And something that we do with the picketing is just try to be as annoying as possible. So as everyone is trying to get, because there's still some people who have to work at the studios, they're clerical stuff, research, whatever. So we just so we flood the streets, walking back and forth when they're trying to get into work. Just causing chaos. There's always loud PA systems, people singing, people dancing, asking cars to put their horns, just everything that we can do to feel a little disruptive.
Now, is there any I think I remember back when the last strikes happened, do you guys have a place where people can donate to help actors who might not have the funds to survive the strike?
Yeah, there's quite a few different organizations. There's one, the Actors Fund, obviously, and the Writers Guild has something similar, but there's, let me see if I can look it up and send it to you. IATSE, because the IATSE is our union workers, like the crew members that we mentioned before. They're the ones who are hurting. They're the ones who are hurting the most, I think, because they've been seeing this impact, like I said, with the less pilots being shot. They're seeing the impact with just all of their projects drying up, and it's not even their contract. So they're
Yeah.
standing in solidarity with us. Their contract
Yeah.
is next year, but yeah, they're standing in solidarity with us, and they're the hardest hit. So there's like an IATSE community fund. I'll send you the link.
Okay. Yeah, we'll throw that in on the bottom of the screen and everything. So make sure to check that out. But make it quick. We don't want to keep it too long because I know you got a lot of stuff going on. You're making a short film about detached fingers or something.
Yeah.
You always
Detached
got something crazy
severed
going.
fingers. Yeah.
But you're also on social media, so if people want to follow you, you're on the socials. You want to give out your socials if people want to
Sure.
follow you?
On Instagram, I go by I am a teacup human. IMATEACUPHUMAN, like a teacup poodle, but
Yes.
a person.
Yes.
And then on Facebook and Twitter, I am just the Megan Duffy.
Yeah. So go there, check it out. All of her stuff's on there. You can see everything, all the different shows you've been in over the years. I call you my celebrity friend.
Oh wow.
Duffy, out there in Hollywood doing it, making it happen.
Trying
Thank
my
you for your
best.
time. Yeah. Don't forget, check out Bootyology. Available on all different streaming services on the 22nd. You can pre-order it now. And all that and more will be back next week. Actually, we'll be back next week because I'll be on vacation. We'll be back the week after that.
Where are you going?
Show. I'm going to Maine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gonna
Taking
have
the
some
wife
lobster?
with me. Yeah. Yeah. What was I didn't hear what you said? Sorry.
Are you gonna have some lobster?
She might. I'm not a big lobster person.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're weird. I don't like the claws. Weird me out. They're like sea insects.
They are.
I'm
Not
not
as
a
bad
fan.
as shrimp though. Shrimp are the real insects of the sea.
Yeah, I'm not a big shrimp guy.
Delicious on the grill.
Yeah, I'm a clam guy. I'll do clams, but only fried clams. I don't want anything
Fried
cold.
clams.
It's the sliminess.
So you're not an oyster person.
No, not a really big seafood guy. Not a big seafood guy. Yeah. I went off on a tangent there.
No, I had to move away. I had to move away from New England to become a seafood person.
Yeah. You're way over. Like, they have seafood, of course, because they have like Fisherman's Wharf up in Seattle. It's like the seafood.
Yeah. I mean, we have a
Mecca.
sea. Yeah.
You have San Francisco, but it's like LA. Is there a big seafood deal there?
Sushi's pretty big.
Yeah. But it's like fancy sushi though, right? It's like at the fancy restaurant, like the big time places.
I literally have a restaurant in my neighborhood called Sushi Stop where everything's like $5 and it's a
Nice.
chain and it is delicious. And yeah, so
They did just open near where I live. I'm up in Springfield now.
you have a Sushi Stop?
No, they opened a all you can eat sushi restaurant, like a buffet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want a buffet.
Yeah.
I would just
I'm
want
not sure, but yeah.
I would want to
They just
make
opened a hot pot place near our place too, and I was like, oh my gosh, hot pot.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that when you're dealing with raw fish, I don't necessarily a buffet. I feel like that has the potential to go very wrong.
Yeah, very bad, very quickly. Yeah, it's named like Haya, which is even more. It's like Haya, you're sick. Let's save it that. Bryon
Yeah.
didn't know it was funny.
Well,
but,
maybe try the hot pot place.
Oh, I've definitely been. We've been to the hot pot place. Yeah, it's a Korean barbecue and hot pot, and it's
Oh,
all you
wow.
can eat as well.
Mm,
And it's just like, yeah,
I'm getting hungry.
I was like, challenge accepted. But, all right, pal. Thanks for giving us the time. I appreciate it. It was good seeing you as always.
Nice to see you
Uh,
also.
Yeah. Next time you got something going on. Oh, how's our friend Danielle doing?
Oh, she's doing amazing. She's just been out of town, but I am going to see her next week. So I will tell her you said hello.
Yeah, tell her you said hello. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
It
who
was
I'm
great.
working on
It
the
was great on
finger.
the show. Yeah.
She's who I'm working on the finger thing with.
Oh, well, there you go. So then we definitely have to check it out then. It's the
Yeah.
two FOPs, as we call you, of the show. Friends of the podcast.
Friends
So,
of the podcast.
yeah. But all right. We'll be back in a couple weeks. Everyone enjoy your Labor Day weekend holiday. And that'll be my birthday after that. Be back after I'm turned 44. So we'll see you all the week after that. We'll have a whole bunch to talk about and so much more. But check out Bootylicious, Bootyology.
Bootyology.
He was going to do it. Bootyology. And we'll see you all next time. As always, be safe, be well, be kind.
I just screenshotted us, by the way.
Oh, okay. Hope I wasn't mid salute or something. That'd be weird. But, all right. Bye, everybody.